Are back with some Fortnite musings. Did some chores, finally took care of some cleaning that I've been putting off for days, if not weeks now. Um, yeah, little bits every day. That's how my calculus teacher told us that. That's how you learn calculus. So you just do a little bit of math every day, and you lift it. It's the same way you lift up a cow. Like when it's a little baby cow, you lift it, so many times. I mean, maybe a more example that makes sense. There's this commercial about this guy he's kind of an elder gentleman, and he's lifting a weight in his garage. It's like a kettlebell, and he's lifting it up in this like weird way. Like he's picking it up straight in front of him. And then as you continue to watch the commercial, it's because his granddaughter comes over to the house and he wants to pick her up. So, he's picking up about what she weighs or just like at least just training. And so just preparing for that. And so of course then it's all cute. It's like, oh, it's such a sweet thing, like humanity. So, oh, I need to eat dinner. That's what I've been forgetting. But no, and that's why I like discussing religion with people from around the world. Like, I mean, without even going too much into it, just having a basic understanding of like, hey, do good things and good things will come to you. Like that's, don't take shortcuts, do the work. Like almost everything boils down to that. Same with politics. Like regardless of what government system it is, you were expected to contribute to society in some way. That's like a shared thing that people do in every society. Like throughout history, there was always jobs, positions, ways to hunt, gather, provide. Yeah. Although it didn't get like, I mean, that's kind of like a vague overgeneralization of like the Bronze Age and the Copper Age. Like playing Age of Empires, kind of like you go through those quote unquote ages, and I want to say it's historically accurate, but I would have to look that up before I said something like that, just to be sure. But Age of Empires, or I think it's just Age of Empires. But I think I've heard it called something else, or Age of Kings. Basically, you do a bunch of war campaigns of like the battles in history, and like not only would you like be learning about them, you're doing them, like you're attacking them. Now, how much people actually read the thing, that depended, but yeah, I can't even think of any right now because it's been well over probably 10 years since I played that game. But like the impression that it left, just that people will people. It's a very simple thing to say, like people will people. And that's it. That's it. Doesn't matter. If they need money, they're gonna do things. If there might be shortcuts. There might be, doing illegal things so they can get nice things, whatever. Like, instead of getting a job, earning money, and it's really not that hard. I mean, it is hard work in the sense that, yeah, you got to work to earn money. Like, people won't pay you unless you're fulfilling something for them that has value because it's an exchange. You're paying someone to do a job, you expect them to do a job, and that's why, and basically worked in a Dairy Queen. It was my first job. It wasn't. It was Kay's Dairy Delight. It was up in Buena Vista, like a little burger joint, old-fashioned burger joint. But basically very similar to what In-N-Out is, which I've now experienced that, which I guess started in California and made its way out here. It's very popular, and I see why. I mean, it's great food. It's delicious. I think it's like never frozen, or whatever. Which I don't know. So many companies boast that too. Like our beef, all never frozen. The Wendy's commercial. Anyways, so yeah, product of capitalism. Ugh. I mean, I went and had a McDonald's burger the other day, and those are like super unhealthy. We all know it. Like, and I was like, you know what? I want to eat super unhealthy today. Uh, it was alright. I don't. Find the streets and the names we got it. Oh yeah. What do you want to know about? We survived the wrath of gods barely. Montague and Valor. I haven't followed any of these storylines. I just like click through to get the thing. So if I do ever want to go back and actually, that's what we should be doing during all this. Let's mark the characters. So where are we at? Oh gosh, I honestly don't know. Where are we? There. So really? It's like the closest that I mean, alright, that works. I like to get the lore, the stories from all the characters, and I'm really bad about actually doing that. So as I go back through my collected stuff, I'm still kicking myself for not getting more skins and emotes and stuff back when, oof, I'm not dumb enough to ride a motorcycle, or risky enough. So not dumb. I'm sure one can do a lot of damage on a motorcycle still, but oof, with the threat of so many other vehicles out there doing this Mad Max thing, it's good to be in a vehicle. Yeah, the barrel roll. Nice. Okay. Anyways, yeah, people will people. It's been through all out history. Several art history classes, which I couldn't even tell you. Oh no! Ah! Yeah, fair enough. Trying to take on a freaking gun turret. I didn't have a turret of my own, so. Anyways. But yeah, people. It's a basic thing. Religion, and I did not do any Google Docs yet. Finally cleaned up something I've been meaning to clean for a while, so. And I'm gonna have to take some trash out. Food waste, basically. Stuff that's gonna smell funky in the morning. And it's almost bedtime. I'm old. So. Jeez. Alright. But, I mean, the blueprint of it is basically, because what I've already been discussing with some of my more Christian friends is just certain part, like we started with abortion and just like how kind of like the idea of that, no matter what your opinion on that is, it's generally a tough decision for the person doing it. Like, I mean, nobody's saying that. And sorry to get really heavy there while we're all quiet and everything, and like, but, and, and I looked it up talking about it with some people on the X app, and, I think I read that it's 6 weeks for a heartbeat, 23 or 24 weeks for brain activity to where you can tell like reaction to stimuli. But at the same time, I don't know, and that's debatable. And I think if I read more about it, there might be more examples of like, I'd have to see how it reacts because you can actually watch the activity, like as you poke the belly or whatever, and like, having gone through that, I can tell you it's very real. And like, once you hear that heartbeat, I mean, it gets very real for a parent. You feel like a parent at that point. So, I mean, I can understand. In 6 weeks, that's what, like, I mean, I think that's what's on the table for, like, a lot of states. And I don't know. At the same time, 6 weeks, though, like, from a logistical and a health, especially if it's, like, comes down to the health of the mother, like, I mean, because that could be fatal. I mean, it needs to be a doctor's decision, not an ethical decision. I can also understand the not trying to make it just like just like oh, that's another like a throwaway culture type thing. Like it's still a very serious decision, and that's what always gets me with these things. Of course, it's a very serious decision. There's a lot of thought that goes into it. It's not like, oh, tee I'm gonna just go do this. Like, so, although what comes out, what was it? That one guy, he was running, I think, for a Senate seat in Georgia, and like he had abortions, like multiple, and like it's like one of those classic do as I say, not as I do. I'm gonna tell everybody else how to do it, yet I can't follow through. And then that's just my fault. That's not like oh, maybe it's just a human nature to, I guess that's the other thing. There's too many moving parts. Like trying to control all 50 states. As much as I know that like that's a very unpopular thing is to like let states decide more things, because it is. It's dangerous when states are doing away with abortion. So like at all, any. I mean, once it there's the joining, Let's not talk about war. Sorry, it's like, because I already know that, like, I mean, I'm gonna offend a lot of people that I don't take it more seriously, but at the same time, I do take it very seriously, in the sense that I'm worried already about women equality and how much that sets them back for that whole that whole fight. And it has been. It's been an uphill battle. Like, nobody should really be denying that. Like, and invalidating the whole, like, women's suffrage. Even calling it suffrage, too. That always was weird to me. Like, the right to vote. Let's call it suffrage. Like, it's like you suffer. Because we don't want... Almost. If I landed that third one, I think I would have got it. How much? Yeah, 2 health. Whew. Oh, you gonna dance on me? With 2 health? Oh, okay, yeah, that was pretty close, though. Touche, touche. Alright. But anyways, the idea, the religious side, the soul, the idea that you are sending a baby to heaven, like you are like murdering, and you know, even just saying a baby, like almost everybody is instantly, like psychologically, they're going to picture a laughing post-birth baby that's outside of the womb, outside of the mother, like there, you know, and especially from a group that so, and this is where you got to be careful linking too many things, but unfortunately, that's where my talk with one of my relatives is going right now. It's like, you know, we got into the pronoun thing, the cat thing, that bled, and then we got into what else we get into? The religion, like update religion. I said we need to update religion. I mean, you know, and I even gave an example, like when it was true that men had to lead a household thousands of years ago, that's not necessarily true anymore. Like this world, and there's even, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting a lot of this crossed mixed up, but like there's ideas about the end of the age. Like it's not really the end of the earth. Like whenever we have these doomsday things, or all, I mean, thinking really, or wasn't that in a movie? Was it the day after tomorrow? I can't remember. The day after tomorrow is where like this extreme weather event freezes over like New York and it becomes like a glacier. But that's the day after tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, or something like that. But anyways, my point being is like some ancient text and like some people trying to talk to people. Like we were trying to, our ancestors were trying to warn us about the end of an age, or it could have been a mistranslation and really meant to say age instead of end of the world. Because I mean, we're still here. The prophesized time is like 2012, I think, 2012. I don't even remember. Like it was a famous year for a bit. Like Y2K is more famous, and so if that tells you anything, like the end of the world versus the end of the financial world, but not necessarily the end of the world, because computers were just shut off. Now, granted, we were very dependent on computer systems, and imagining going back to like basically if oh, there's a good meme out there like just a theory of history, like we perfect AI enslaves humanity, solar flare wipes out AI, we start worshiping the sun, and then it repeats. And then like we build AI and technology and machines to do the work for us, to make our lives easier, and then we perfect it and it perfects itself, it becomes sentient. And that's like the whole Matrix idea. I mean, we've been dealing with that like us 90s kids. Like we've been all about the Matrix from back in the day, like proverbial philosophy or pop philosophy. Armchair philosophy? I think it's like armchair psychology if you feel like, I mean, just by like casually quoting some psychological terms, because I'm an amateur at that. I took basic psychology because I just didn't go. I mean, I tried the first time, then I stopped going. Second time, then stopped going. Did a repeat delete, but I don't think it counted. And then I had to do like another one, and it finally got like an A in it, but I don't think it counted towards my GPA because I just like, you know, messed around my first couple of years of college, and I think everyone should have like that time where they can go out and be wild, or rumspringa, basically. Oh man, we're gonna fight. Oh man. Oh man. Let's do this. Someone in there. And I'm just freaking him out because I'm like running around. Ah! Dang it. Did not even get close to that. Took away his shield though. Alright, let's try to do more like non-amateur hour here. So, but anyways, I guess what I should do is like just have a bunch of examples of art and architecture through history. Like I got a couple history books still. I'm trying to just remember like what I've been studying. Because Intro to Visual Art was great, and that was another one that I did a repeat delete. I did a whole summer where I did business calc, Intro to Visual Art, and what was the third one? Maybe that was psychology. I feel like it was something else. But either way, I got straight A's, 3 summer classes. It was intense. Like I don't think they let you really do more than that. One was 1 month long, and then one was 2 month long. Or how'd that work? I think it was 2 single month ones at different months, and one overlap because it was a 2 month long class. So yeah, for 1 month I had to like double Dutch, but I think one of the months I only had like one class. Anyways, intro to visual art, like going back to like, let's see, posts and lintels, pyramids, like Egyptian stuff. Oh, there's so much. I mean, like ancient stuff, like the oldest stuff, like clay tablets, or one, I think it's the palette of Narmer, where it was basically, I think it was meant to like be carried around like basically like how we have tablets now, but it would have like crushed up lapis lazuli, which was like a blue mineral that would work as like blue paint basically, and it was abundant enough in, I want to say Egypt, but it could just be in Africa in like different areas. Like I don't know where all of this happened. And I don't want to generalize and risk saying something really stupid like, oh yeah, no, this was in like Antarctica. No, I mean this was where like a bunch of tombs and pharaohs and stuff are. That could be, talk about armchair archaeology, Indiana Jones stuff, or the Mummy movies. And you got to understand, like a lot of people around the world are just now starting to see all that stuff. I mean, before it was so hard to see American like cinema and everything. I imagine, although I say that, but it's not that hard to ship a bunch of DVDs over. Dubbing things, that's difficult. But now that we have like AI doing that stuff, I mean, it might not be enslaving us yet, but it's translating it and making it to where we can communicate ideas and entertainment to each other. Be like, this is what, this is awesome. Look at what I'm doing right now. Playing as Boba freaking Fett, running around, blowing things up, shooting people, like all the things that you should never do in real life, but you can do them here. You can get out your aggression. And, worst case, you just have bad sportsmanship, just like, or bad, manners. And it's like, which that is still pretty serious. All right, come on. How do I not get hurt? There we go. Nice. So yeah, oftentimes I'll do the big pot before the small pot since it's annoying. You can only do it in this order to get the full 100, the biggest bang for your buck. There you go. Also, that cola is basically a shield. I don't know how much. It does it over time. I want to say it works past 50 to get to 100. Past that, I think it's a 75 from like an empty. So if I were to just do that one instead of the 2, or the 3 that I just used. You go. Yes, that's still like a lot of shield. Okay. Oh. So yeah, I don't even know getting the names right, but just ancient art. Like go Google ancient art from like different areas, Mesopotamian, Greek, Roman. I took a Western Civ class where we studied the actual like, the politics, the wars. Peloponnesian Wars, like Greeks, the Romans, like oh jeez. Bada bing. Oh, not even a scratch. Whew. And I still wonder if these are bots too. Like, like how quick that person, like, it built. I feel like that's more of like a program behavior. But it's hard to tell because you can program people or bots to play just as good. You can even take the way that other people, like how I'm just kind of like wandering around looking at things and like nonchalantly like turning and running. All of this can be recorded and probably is somewhere. And then AI like learning models are examining it. Sorry, I've definitely done this rant before. Um, and you can make a bot do exactly what I'm doing, all of the Boba Fett stuff. I mean, because there is a certain play style, like how I like approach things. I'll like look, try to figure out a safer way down. This is probably death. Unless I curb the. See? Ooh, it even comes with a thing. But now I gotta drive at a certain distance, so I gotta pay attention. All the while also getting upgrades, which I think we just had back there. And if not, 500. So yeah, and even that, like Greek and Roman, really more Greek mythology. If you watch Hercules from Greece, you get a lot of the more that there's Hades, there's Zeus, and then even in Fortnite we've had Hades and Zeus, and Artemis. Cerberus. Cerberus is the three-headed dog. Hades is supposedly the devil, like the ruler of the underworld. So like that concept of the devil or evil, like spirit or demon or well, really God. It's not uniquely Christian or Muslim. Everything, all of them, yes. That's one of the Muslim religions. Like, hey, do you have the devil in Islam? Yeah, there's the devil. There's things that you're not supposed to do. There's like offending God. Or making, or disappointing. Really, that's probably more realistic too. Like, if we were made in the image, that's just assuming that we are. There's even that split. Like, we could be, monkey experiments, breeding experiments from some, any alien civilization or what have you. It was like just. You gotta be careful because I think there's a life to this. Gut bombs tasting. Entering the arena. Ah! It's like battle bots where they like, oh man, I need some guns. Alright. Yeah! Yeah, double kill. Alright. Like, I think that song is like, I don't give a damn about your reputation. Or something. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, see right there. I don't give a darn about your dad. Yeah, PG-13 though. I don't know, like some cultures, swearing still, like using swear words. You gotta watch that. And granted, I was watching Adam Sandler stuff when I was a teenager at least. I'm gonna say like 10 or 11. No, actually no, maybe more. It was like 12, 13. When you start getting all antsy and like, what did I just do? Yeah, 5th grade to 6th grade. Middle school. Yeah. And then high school's not much better. Then you get senioritis, you get done, like you learn, you're like preparing. Like, okay, now I want to get out on my own, on the real world. I can do this, and then it's like, and there's another 10 years of like your 20s where you just like still have to figure things out. I guess that's what's so bothersome about something that I got a buddy from out of country that wants me to have someone come stay for a while. This can't be good. And there's many reasons why I just can't. Oh, they stole my ride. And now they're gonna come back and kill me. That's what I would do. Nope. Come on, Boba Fett, you can do this. Wish I had a real jetpack. But they even did those for a bit there. They had the jetpack. I mean, I'd also want the missile that would launch from the jetpack. That's technically what that tip is behind my helmet. That didn't sound bad at all. Anyways. Oh, what the? You're shooting that bow thing at me. Oh no! Yeah, that was horrible. Alright. Actually, we're close. Let's do another quick one. So, we kind of ranted about a bunch of things. But, and no real coherent thing. Like, just basically ancient art and stuff. The way, like, I mean, even Mesopotamia, the land between two rivers, modern day Iraq, like that area. I mean, there's just art from all over it, and that's why Ancient Aliens is so interesting, because there's a lot of it that suggests that we are like a breeding monkey experiment from some aliens from another world, like, or even another dimension. Like, if they could just blink in and out, like, or even just have like reflective mirrored sides on their spacecraft. A funny story about that: I had some lady tell me that she believed in God and Jesus was God because she went to a yard sale and she went back to see if a yard sale was still, but she wrote me a big long thing on XApp, a response, like pages long. But anyways, and it was she did a U-turn and was blinded by a light while doing a U-turn, so it was a little dangerous. And she's saying this in her story, like, she did a U-turn in this residential neighborhood to try to check on a yard sale, and then when she pulled up in front of the house, she saw that it was over. And so, which is probably good, because then it means that there probably weren't like as many or a high of a chance of people being there. But it doesn't matter. I mean, she would have seen, like, if there was a kid in the road or whatever, like, before doing the U-turn, hopefully. So normally, like, if you're blinded, I don't know. See, that's a toss-up. You don't just want to like stop and then you could possibly get hit by somebody. Anyways, so part of that was that she said she saw this like doorway opening up in the sky, and the light was coming from inside the doorway. And she even gave the dimensions. It was like a normal like doorway of like, well, not normal. It was big. She said it was like something like 3 or 4 feet wide. Or no, actually, I think she once said like 10 to 15 feet. I don't know. Anyways, the fish is this big, right? So, and I don't know. I run around in this beginning time. Oh yeah, music gets copyright, so sometimes it doesn't have an ability to play in Russia. Not that these things are all that popular, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But anyways, what was I even talking about? Yeah, so this lady saw this. It basically sounded like a UFO, like, total B-movie UFO, like, it just had a reflective armor plating to where she couldn't see the rest of the ship. It was just a doorway to heaven, but heaven, could mean that close. It's just into a ship, like, and then the ship might be able to take you to another planet or the moon. I mean, that's what the Scientologists believe, that Xenu's up there with soul gathering equipment. Like, when we die, our souls go up and get sucked into these soul catchers and then repurposed into new alien organ, like, and technically we're the aliens. Like an eclectic mix of species from around the universe. And this is like Australia for the rest of the universe. Like, we're the prison planet. Which, and now if you think about it that way, that would be kind of interesting, because we do, like, Australia was a prison country. It was a penal colony, is what they officially called it. But it basically means prison place, like prison country. So England would ship off its inmates, people that are being punished, to, go live down in Australia, go be down there. So even if they did get unruly or whatever, like, they wouldn't just be set loose on London, or like any fancy places, like getting rid of the riffraff. But again, any riffraff, all throughout history, anything could be considered a shortcut. Like, how much of a shortcut are you taking? Like, and who are you cutting short? Are you cutting other people, like, directly, indirectly? I mean, where is this resource coming from that you're grabbing, you're attaining, you're taking, or this like liberty or this opportunity? I mean, who benefits and who doesn't, I guess, is the real way to weigh a bunch of options. And then it all comes back down to religion. I think it was actually a superhero movie where it had like an Egyptian-looking like a bunch of pyramids, and like they went to the afterlife, and there was like these scales, like and there was sand on the scales, and these like giant faceless beings, like poured sand from their hand into the scales, and like it ended up tilting either one way or the other, and based on that is like how they would be judged and either sent to heaven or hell. And even that, like, that's the biggest stick and carrot, like, and that's why you need to be careful, because, like, even if, like, okay, you gotta play the devil's advocate and say, like, okay, what if this is all true? Every last thing in the Bible was exactly accurate, 100%, because even as my buddies were talking about it, a lot of this stuff was, like, still pretty wishy-washy. I mean, as far as, uh, like, proof. Like, I could see it happening, like, someone has a near-death experience and sees God and, like, starts talking like this, or, back then they just see a dire need to make another, you know, fantasy carrot and stick schema to like reward people for being good. Like, be careful, like we're paying attention. Someone sees what you're doing. So, yeah, it's just. Sorry, and actually, we're gonna end up doing a really long one. So now let's cut it there, and then I'll just like die off camera. So ta for now. 'Cause I gotta wait until the other one's uploaded and then delete it because I'm running out of memory storage. And plus, these things can drag on. But I'll get the Google links together at some point and post them. When I do, I'll have all this stuff documented and like laid out so we can see it. So it doesn't sound like a bunch of just random, well, ramblings. So ta for now. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you in the next one.